Dre Spec the Boxing here with another video. As always, like, comment, subscribe, show your boy some love. Dre Spec the Boxing here with another one. Let's talk about Errol Spence, pound for pound, king of the 147 division. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, like, he's not pound for pound number one. In my perspective, he is going to have to fight another top welterweight at his weight, 147-pound fighter. Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion, won't do it. But in a lot of writers' minds, I think a lot of the media minds is going to do it to become number one pound for pound, or at least top two pound for pound, if he gets past Manny Pacquiao in his next fight. In my opinion, it's not going to count for me. I'm going to need to see him beat a Sean Porter, a Keith Thurman, or Terrence Crawford to be pound for pound king. And I think that would even elude him to number one pound for pound, depending on what the other guys have done right now. I got Canelo pound for pound number one. I got number two as Terrence Bud Crawford, and I'm not doing that. I think I'm giving Terrence Crawford a lot of credit for what he did at 140, and that's clean out of division, man. And that division looks like nothing with him not there, you know. So all the work that he's done, I can't erase all the work that he has done, and not giving him the benefit of the doubt. I just don't believe he's pound for pound at his. I don't believe that his skill set is going to translate up to the 147-pound division where we got these animals up here. These guys who are a lot more bigger, faster, and stronger. And, man, just the sheer size and power is going to be a lot different for Terrence Crawford when he gets to those top welterweights. You know, nothing taken from Benavidez, but when he gets to these guys, Benavidez, I think was fighting on one leg. You know what I mean? So it's a lot different, man. When you get to these guys who are in tip-top shape, at the top of their game, at the 147-pound division, man, he's going to have a lot of pushback. It's not going to be guys he can just outbox and outclass. He's going to have to really dig deep to beat some of the top welterweights. And that includes Danny Garcia, which I think he gets past Danny Garcia. I think Sean Porter and Keith Thurman gives him a lot more trouble, and it's just be interesting to see if he can get past those guys. So right now, let's just look at the 147 division. I'm going to say Errol Spence heads and heels is number one in the 147 division, and I have to give that to him easily, man, easily. I don't see anybody beating him. Man, I've been preaching the same song for about 4 or 5 years. I mean, well, about 3 years now at least. I don't see anybody beating him. My number two now is still going to be Keith one-time Thurman. Keith Thurman is going to be number two for me. And I'm not sure if I can really give him number two. I may be leaning toward Bud Crawford as number two, but it's still, I don't feel like he's fighting any top welterweights. You know, and that's the issue at 147. I'm giving a prediction of what I think he may do. So just by that, I'm going to still stick with Keith Thurman at number two because of what he has done. He's beaten Danny Garcia, beat Sean Porter at 147, which are top welterweights ranked at 147. They were champions at one point and is a champion now. Again, Porter. And Danny Garcia was a champion. He unified with Danny Garcia and beat him out for that championship. So I'm going to give Keith the number two spot at 147 because of that reason. And they easily, you can see I'm leaning towards number three is easily Terrence Crawford. I'm going to say Terrence Crawford hasn't lost at 147. The opposition that he has fought, he has beat. It's not his fault that he has to fight Horn and Benavidez and now Khan. You know, I expect him to fully wash Khan in April. We got to wait for that fight to transpire. You know, Khan could give him some speed issue problems. But if he could get past Khan, then he still easily stays at number three. I don't think Khan does enough for me because too many guys I've seen floor Khan, and just really beat Khan for me to say that Khan is a top welterweight. I think he's a top name in boxing, period, but not a top welterweight in this 147-pound stack division. All right, now it gets interesting. We go to that fourth spot, and where do we have the guys ranked up number 4? I'm not going to put Pacquiao up in the number 4 spot. Reason being is his inactivity. He hasn't really fought anybody of note. He's just kind of just wading in the water, just kind of going about, in his career. So number 4, I'm going to say is Porter, only because he did retain the championship. That's on paper. I had Ugas winning that fight, so I'm going to put number 4 as Sean Porter. Number 5, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if Danny Garcia get past Granados. I think their fight is in April. We'll see if that how that fight goes, and if Danny Garcia is able to get past Granados, he'll remain number 5. Ugas number 6, and so on and so forth. So the top 5 gonna be Errol Spence Jr, Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, and then Danny Garcia. So these guys are still in line. All these guys are still in play, man. The top 3 who have fought each other, but out of the top 5, the 3 that have fought each other being Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, and Keith Thurman. Those were close fights. All those were close fights. I think Keith Thurman had the more wider margin of victory versus Danny Garcia, but the others had close fights between each other. So these championships could go either way. Me, in my opinion, from what I've seen from Errol Spence, him fighting the top welterweights and being avoided by the top welterweights, I feel like he is heads and heels above everybody else in the welterweight division, showing the skills that he did on Saturday night when he fought Mikey Garcia. And just the footwork to show you that he can still cut off the ring, but he can box you in cutting off the ring. He can take those steps back to stay out of range. He can take less punishment and take less risk and fight a more boxing, a more slick boxing style. And the thing that was funny to me to see is after the fight when he said, "Yeah, man, I don't really like fighting like this. It was a boring fight. I just want to mow people down." And that attitude and that aggression, I love that, man. But he just wanted to show, because so many people are saying that, "Oh, he can't box, he can't box." And the guy showed you angles. He showed you pivot moves. He showed you the range, to be in and out of range. He showed you hand speed. He showed you the skill level to understand how to keep the jab in somebody's face. He's also showed you how he can go diverse from body to head, still from range, without having to be close in. Then when he was able to get in close in, he went back to that body attack later in the fight. Man, the guy showed a lot of skill, footwork, was heads and heels above Mikey Garcia. That's why Mikey Garcia had so many problems, because he couldn't, like Mikey Garcia said in a post-fight interview, he was like, when I went to go return fire, the guy wasn't there. He wasn't in range. And that's what the problem was, the superior footwork that Errol Spence has. And then when he did try to bully Errol Spence, at some points he tried to crowd him and get in. Errol Spence easily pivoted away from the ropes and was back to the center of the ring before Mikey could even throw punches. So that's why he even couldn't throw punches, because Errol had the superior footwork, man. I can't express that enough. A lot of people are gonna pick Terrence Crawford to beat Errol Spence. They look at it and say, "Oh, Terrence Crawford got the skills." And as you see, Mikey supposedly has skills, and Mikey does have skills. And the thing of it is, man, I don't want to discredit Mikey, because discrediting Mikey is going to discredit Errol Spence, man. Mikey has a lot of skills. He beat a lot of tough opponents so far. He has the opponents that they have put in front of him that which his resume isn't that great, but the opponents that he has fought, they have, he has beat those guys, and he has beat those guys convincingly. Adrian Broner and Robert Easter, notable fights of late. I don't give notable as a Lipinets, because I don't believe that was a big fight. Lipinets, in my opinion, still remains a paper champ. The guy was never a champion. It was a vacated Crawford belt. So I believe that Errol Spence showed that he just has the more superior skills. It is not an easy fight to come up and try to fight a guy of that size. Now, people talking about, Terrence Crawford is more skillful and he's a welterweight. Man, y'all have to remember, Terrence Crawford, just like Mikey, was a 135-pound fighter. He fought, what's his name? Gamboa at 135 pounds. And people, they don't understand. They looking at the now. Some of these guys are boxing fans and they became fans of Terrence Crawford. They like to go against the grain, like my boy Spence said. These guys don't know boxing. They just starting to learn, a little bit about boxing, or some of the boxers of now. They know the old boxing. They know Floyd Mayweather's. They know, maybe Oscar De La Hoya's, and Roy Jones Jr.'s. Some of these people don't know. The casual fans don't know, who these guys are until they become stars. So, and then they don't go back and do any research and say, hey, who were these guys before they are on top of their game as champions now, that I'm seeing in boxing, right? So then they start to form an opinion about it based on the last fights that they've seen. They see him dominate somebody and say, oh man, that guy's good. Well, you got to do a little bit more research than that. Terrence Crawford had a lot of issues in the smaller weight classes against smaller guys. He's been hurt. He's been rocked by some smaller guys. Gamboa rocked him. He's been pressured by some guys, so it's not like it's been a walk in the park. Everything that Terrence Crawford has done, he's earned it. But he's earned that at the smaller weight classes. Again, 135, 140. He didn't do that at 147. So I can't give him all the credit in the world at 147 because he hasn't proved that at 147. You got to fight the guys, the big name guys at 147 to make me believe that you belong here at 147. The same way that I said that if Mikey Garcia was going to step up, you need to step up and go through the ranks. You can't just step up to the top champion at 147 and think you're going to beat him. You seen what happened. It was a one-sided fight, as I told you. The guy didn't win a round. He didn't win one round. He had one competitive round I felt was round 2. After that, I don't think nothing was even competitive. At one point, it got to the 12th round and Spence showed that he was toying with him. He put his hand on him and sunned him like a kid. He kept putting his hand on him till the ref had to tell him to stop. Hey, put your hand down. Quit sunning this guy. Because he really had just sunned the guy. He was having a victory parade and, victory party in the 12th round. So, Errol Spence's heads and heels above in the 147-pound division. And you're not going to tell me that Terrence Crawford comes in here and all his skills, they're going to transition up, but he has to deal with that size. He has to deal with the power issue at 147. It's a reason that Terrence Crawford started his career at 135 because he does not have the power to deal with the guys at 147. If he did, he would have been able to fight at 147. He wouldn't have to get so far down until 135. Some people say stuff about weight bullying. If you're going to call if you're gonna call Errol Spence a weight bully, you gotta call guys like Crawford a weight bully. You gotta call guys like Mikey Garcia a weight bully, because these guys are bigger guys who made the weight at 135. They made weight at Mikey Garcia made weight as low as 126 and 130. But you can look at his frame and say he's easily 135 to 140 pound fighter. Easily. But he was fighting guys at 126 and 130. So are those guys not weight bully? When Canelo fought at the beginning of his career, he was fighting a lot at 147. Was weighing in at on fight nights at somewhere around 170-something pounds. Man, you know what I mean? It was ridiculous when they were saying that this guy come in and fights at 175 pounds and he's fighting at 137. That is ridiculous, man. He was gaining 20, 25, 30 pounds, allegedly on fight night. Above whatever weight he was fighting from that 147 to 154 pound division. So is that a weight bully? Why didn't he get the stamp as weight bully? Because that's all he did was be bigger than all the guys that he fought, down there before he was more skillful. I believe now he's earned the skills to go with the size that he has. That's why he was able to move up in the weight, because he has skills to go with the size that, he has. And I believe he's came a long way, and they gradually walked that guy up, Canelo up. So I don't want to hear that weight bully shit, man. You make your weight easily, I commend you. The only way I call you a weight bully if you fighting at a weight and you can't make the weight. If you dying out on the scales, you killing yourself to make weight. Errol came into this fight and he was easily under the 147-pound limit. It wasn't a problem, wasn't an issue, hasn't been an issue up to this point in his career. It's not easy for anybody making weight, but at the same time, if you make the weight comfortably without having to go and try to run it off, i.e. Sean Porter a week and a half ago, when he had to try to go and lose the extra weight, sweat it out as much as he can, and it still carried over to his hair where he had to clip his braids just so he can make weight. Those are weight bullies. So, you start not being able to make your weight, then there's a problem there. You know what I mean? You need to start really looking at that. And Errol Spence to this point has been making his weight, so he's not in a division that he doesn't belong in. He's in the division he belongs in, 147, and he's the king of that 147-pound division. If you make your 147-pound weight and you want to go up against a guy like Errol Spence, you take everything that comes with that. So that ass whooping that's waiting on you on the other side of your weight, hey, look, it's coming, man. You going weigh in at under 147. He does too. On fight night, whatever you weigh, that's what you get in the ring with. It is what it is. So if you don't want to be in that division, maybe you should go down a lower weight class. If you can't fight a guy with those skill levels, and that size, it is what it is from that standpoint. He's not. It's not his fault that he's genetically given the skills that he was. So, but I don't think Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence. I think it'll be a competitive fight. I think he has enough skills to make it competitive halfway through the fight, but I don't believe that he can outlast, with the power, the size, the footwork. It's going to be a lot different than it was at 135. If you think Gamboa hurt you, I think Errol Spence puts a lot more pressure on Terrence Crawford and most of the other welterweights in the division anyway. But right now, Errol Spence on my list is not pound for pound king, but at 147, he's king of the 147-pound division. He has no competition at 147. I've said it all along. His competition will be at 154. Those guys who are just as big as him and some guys who are just as skilled as him is going to be at 154 pounds. But that's maybe 2 years away before he's even considering going up to 154, because he has to clean out this 147 division. And I think he will do so and accomplish that, then go up to 154. Some of these other guys may get beat, and some of the other bigger welterweights may get beat and forced to 154 before they really would probably like to, i.e. Keith Thurman. I think Keith Thurman can fight at 154 because he is a very large welterweight, not in height, but as in weight. That guy walks around at 190 pounds easy. 190 pounds easy. I see it all the time. And he has so much time in between fights. He does get down to the weight that he's supposed to get down to, but that guy walks around too big. It's going to be a struggle for him to continue to get down to 154 pounds. But he's making it. I can't complain. He's there at 147. He makes his weight during fight week, and I've never seen Keith Thurman have any issues making weight. I just seen how big he is when he's not on weight. So that's all I got for you for right now, man. Right now, we got a new king at 147, which is Errol Spence, and everybody has to bow to the throne, man. Everybody's going to have to come and kiss the ring. The king is in the building now. Now the tables have turned, like Errol Spence said. Those guys he was begging for fights, they have to beg him for fights because now he's the money man. He's the pay-per-view star. He's taking over that Mayweather fight, and he's going to solidify that if he gets that Pacquiao fight on pay-per-view. He's going to solidify what everybody else has seen, that transition to 147 pay-per-view superstardom. And this is your new superstar in boxing, Errol the Truth Spence Jr. And it's a truth for a reason, because this guy backs up everything that he's done at 147, and I think he easily cleans and wipes out this division. People are calling some of these other fights and saying that they're going to be his biggest opponents. Not happening, man. I don't care what you're saying. It's not happening. You're going to see Errol Spence will prevail at that 147-pound weight division. Hey, that's all I got for y'all for right now, man. Hey, comment if you think somebody else is king in the 147 division. Comment down below, man, and a pound for pound king, where you rank Errol Spence. Comment in the comment section and let me know how y'all feel and who you think is the biggest threat to Errol Spence right now at 147 pounds, because I see none. And I think they're equally as non-threat as there could be at this point right now. Maybe somebody coming up. If you think in a few years that they could catch Errol before he leaves 147, tell me some people that y'all may see that can give him some type of problems. Right now, I don't see any. But comment, let me know how y'all feel. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification so y'all can stay updated on the latest content that I put out from my channel. That's all I got for y'all for right now. Dre Spective, and I'm out.